The first episode of Rent a Girlfriend opens with a heartbreak. Kazuya Kinoshita, a 20-year-old college student, has just been dumped by his girlfriend, Mami Nanami, after only 1 month of dating. Devastated and desperate for comfort, Kazuya stumbles upon an online app offering rental girlfriends. With his emotions running high, he books a date out of loneliness and curiosity. Enter Chizuru Mizuhara, the rental girlfriend. She's poised, polite, and incredibly beautiful, basically the perfect partner on paper. Their first date is an ideal fantasy. They visit an aquarium, walk around town, and Chizuru charms Kazuya with her kindness and attentiveness. Despite knowing it's a paid service, Kazuya finds himself emotionally affected, momentarily forgetting the pain of his breakup. However, things take a sharp turn after the date. Upon checking Chizuru's reviews online and realizing that her sweet behavior might just be part of the act, Kazuya becomes frustrated and leaves her a low rating. He confronts her during their second meeting, accusing her of being fake. This leads to Chizuru breaking character and showing her true personality: witty, assertive, and unafraid to speak her mind. She reminds Kazuya that their relationship is a business transaction and that she's just doing her job. Just when things seem like they'll end bitterly, Kazuya gets a phone call. His grandmother has collapsed and is in the hospital. In a rush, he brings Chizuru along. To his surprise, his grandmother is thrilled to meet her and assumes Chizuru is Kazuya's real girlfriend. Trapped in a lie and trying not to upset his grandmother, Kazuya and Chizuru reluctantly play along. The episode ends with a mix of tension and comedic awkwardness, setting up the central conflict: a fake relationship that might become more complicated than either of them expected. Why it works for you continues right after Kazuya and Chizuru fake their relationship in front of Kazuya's grandmother at the hospital. Despite Chizuru's reluctance, she decides to help Kazuya maintain the lie, at least for now, to keep his grandmother happy. However, their relationship is about to get even messier. Back on campus, Kazuya is shocked when he runs into Chizuru again, only this time as a fellow student in the same college and even in the same class. Her appearance as the perfect girlfriend is replaced by her true personality: sarcastic, blunt, and tired of the whole situation. They argue privately, with Kazuya begging her to keep things under wraps. Things get even more tangled when Mami Nanami, Kazuya's ex-girlfriend, reappears and seems suspicious of his sudden new relationship. During a group outing with friends, Kazuya and Chizuru are forced to keep pretending, while Mami starts throwing passive-aggressive comments that hint she's still interested, or at least not over him. The emotional tension grows as Kazuya becomes increasingly confused. He begins to question whether his feelings for Chizuru are just part of the rental fantasy, or if something real is starting to develop. Highlighted conversation snippets. Original, copyright safe for narration. Kazuya: why does my fake girlfriend have to be in my class? Of all the people in Tokyo. This is just a job. Don't get any weird ideas. Wow, you moved on fast. She's cute, I guess. Why does it still hurt seeing her smile at me? Like nothing ever happened. Beneath all the laughter and lies, hearts begin to stir. Is it all just an act, or is something real blossoming? Stay tuned with Everything in One. Why this works for YouTube. Fully paraphrased, avoiding anime studio copyright includes internal thoughts and interactions written originally. Your Episode 3, Beach and Girlfriend. Narrated by Everything in One. The episode kicks off with growing tension between Kazuya and Chizuru. Although they both agreed to keep things professional, the lines continue to blur. Kazuya is still reeling from his last awkward encounter with Mami and unsure about how he truly feels about Chizuru. But before he has time to figure it out, his friends invite him on a group trip to the beach. To keep up the appearance of his relationship, Kazuya convinces Chizuru to come along. Reluctantly, she agrees, setting the stage for a getaway full of awkward glances, fake smiles, and emotional confusion. On the surface, they're just another couple enjoying summer sun and waves, but the internal struggle is growing. The presence of Mami once again stirs trouble. She watches Kazuya and Chizuru with curiosity and perhaps even jealousy. During a moment alone, she corners Kazuya and questions him, casually poking at his pride. Her words leave a mark, reminding Kazuya that he's still affected by their breakup. Meanwhile, Chizuru begins to notice subtle things about Kazuya, how he tries to protect her image in front of others, and how he's not as shallow as she originally thought. She may not admit it, but the job is starting to feel different. The episode ends with Kazuya trying to calm the chaos in his mind. Is this still just a contract, or is something more growing beneath the surface? Highlighted dialogue and copyright safe. Why does pretending to love her feel more real than anything I've had before? Chizuru. He's dumb, but he's not heartless. Is she really your type? Or are you just playing a game, Kazuya? A beach full of secrets, a fake relationship on rocky shores, and feelings that can no longer be ignored. Subscribe to Everything in One for the next wave of Friend, Season 1, Episode 4, Friend and Girlfriend, narrated by Everything in One. After the emotionally confusing beach trip, things don't settle down for Kazuya. In fact, they get even messier. Back in Tokyo, Kazuya starts to notice something strange. Chizuru is acting slightly warmer toward him. She's still sharp-tongued and business-minded, but little gestures, like helping him save face around friends, are beginning to feel real. It leaves Kazuya spiraling, unsure whether she's softening or just being professional. The episode takes a deeper dive into Kazuya's emotional state. He tries to convince himself it's all fake. It's just her job. I paid for this. But his heart doesn't seem to believe it. When he hangs out with his friends, he struggles to play it cool, especially when Mommy shows up again with her usual passive-aggressive comments. Later, Kazuya finds out that his friend, Kibe, one of the few people who truly cares about him, is suspicious of the whole girlfriend thing. Kibe confronts Chizuru when Kazuya steps away, wanting to know if she really loves his friend or if something shady is going on. Instead of blowing her cover, Chizuru steps up. She plays the role with incredible sincerity, defending Kazuya as someone who tries his best and deserves happiness. Even though it's part of the act, her words hit Kazuya hard. As the two walk home later, there's a moment of awkward silence between them. Something has shifted. There's a hint of mutual respect, maybe even a spark. But as always, Chizuru ends the night with a professional smile and a cold reminder. Don't get the wrong idea. This is still a job. Highlight snippets for narration. Why does it hurt when she says that? It's just acting, right? He may not be perfect, but he has a good heart. That's more than I can say about most people. Just don't mess with him. He's not as tough as he pretends to be. Narration for YouTube. When emotions begin to mix with obligation, how long can the truth stay hidden? Catch more emotional twists right here on Everything in One. To Girlfriend, Season 1, Episode 5, Hot Springs and Girlfriend, narrated by Everything in One. Things go from awkward to boiling hot, literally, as Kazuya's grandmother invites him and Chizuru on a family hot springs trip. Kazuya, trapped in his web of lies, can't refuse. Chizuru agrees to come along, but her frustration is clear. She's getting deeper into this mess than she ever intended. The hot springs setting is meant to be relaxing, but for Kazuya, it's a panic zone. Sharing a room, pretending to be a couple in front of relatives, and trying not to mess up the charade. It's a comedy of errors. Even simple things like sitting too close or sharing dinner spark intense awkwardness between them. Meanwhile, Kazuya's grandmother absolutely adores Chizuru. Her approval is through the roof, and she begins dreaming of weddings and future great-grandkids, making things even more uncomfortable for the duo. Chizuru, ever the pro, handles it with grace and keeps the act going. Later that evening, Chizuru catches a cold from the hot springs. Kazuya, concerned despite himself, sneaks into her room to check on her. She scolds him for being reckless, but there's a subtle softness in her voice, a sign she appreciates his concern, even if she won't say it directly. That night becomes a turning point. Though they remain fake in name, both begin to quietly acknowledge that something real is happening under the surface. Original highlighted dialogue for narration. Why did it have to be a hot spring? This is bad. This is very bad. Just don't do anything stupid. One wrong move, and I'm gone. You've got yourself a wonderful girlfriend, Kazuya. Don't let her go. You didn't have to check on me, but thanks. Narration for everything in one. A steamy getaway turns into a moment of unexpected connection. Are the walls finally starting to come down? Stick around for more romance and chaos, only on Everything in One. Rent a Girlfriend, Season 1, Episode 6, Girlfriend and Girlfriend. Narrated by Everything in One. Back from the hot springs trip, Kazuya is more confused than ever. He keeps telling himself it's all a performance, but Chizuru's kindness and occasional vulnerability are starting to break through his defenses. His heart is caught between reality and fantasy. Things take a wild turn when Kazuya bumps into Mami again. And this time, she wants to talk, alone. What starts as small talk turns into a twisted, emotional roller coaster. Mami drops subtle hints that she still thinks about Kazuya and even questions if his new girlfriend is really that great. Her manipulative charm throws Kazuya into emotional chaos. Later, Chizuru and Kazuya meet up for another rental session. It's supposed to be simple, but the mood shifts quickly. When Kazuya opens up about Mami's strange behavior, Chizuru listens, but her tone is sharp. She warns him not to fall for the same trap again. The tension explodes when Chizuru and Mami cross paths in public. Though the two exchange polite smiles, there's an undeniable undercurrent. Chizuru knows Mami's game, and Mami senses that her hold on Kazuya might be slipping. The episode closes with Kazuya asking himself a hard question. If this is all fake, why do I care so much what Chizuru thinks of me? Original highlighted dialogue for narration. You really think she's into you? Come on, Kazuya. Wake up, self. Why do her words still hurt when she's the one who left me? Don't let her pull you back. You've already walked away once. Keep walking. Narration for everything in one. One girlfriend from the past, one pretending to be his present, and a boy stuck in between. The emotional triangle deepens. Catch the next chapter of love and confusion right here on Everything in One. And emotional beats, ideal for voiceover. Rent a Girlfriend Season 1, Episode 7, Provisional Girlfriend and Girlfriend. Narrated by Everything in One. Things are heating up, and not in the way Kazuya expected. After the emotionally charged encounters with Mami, Kazuya finds himself questioning everything, especially his feelings for Chizuru. The more he tries to convince himself it's just a rental relationship, the harder it becomes to ignore that his emotions are growing deeper. But this episode shifts gears and introduces someone new to the mix. Ruka Sarashina. Kazuya's friend sets him up on a blind date, and although he's reluctant, he goes along with it. Enter Ruka, cute, energetic, and unexpectedly intense. At first, things seem lighthearted, but Kazuya quickly senses something unusual about her. She's not just there to flirt, she's evaluating him. Ruka's true colors are revealed when she uncovers Kazuya and Chizuru's secret. Through a bit of snooping and intuition, she pieces together the fact that Chizuru is a rental girlfriend. But instead of exposing them, she does something unexpected. She asks to date Kazuya herself. Kazuya is stunned. Why would someone like Ruka be interested in him? Ruka claims that Kazuya's heart rate, which she measured as part of her own personal curiosity, is different when he's around her. She believes that means something special is there. This sudden development turns Kazuya's already messy life into full-blown chaos. He now has Chizuru, the pretend girlfriend, Mami, the jealous ex, and Ruka, the unexpected wildcard, all orbiting around him. Original dialogue style highlights for narration. Ruka. You're not just pretending with her, are you? Your heart tells a different story. What kind of rom-com disaster am I in? I can't handle another girlfriend. Chizuru to herself, watching from a distance. Why does this feel irritating? Narration for everything in one. A new player enters the game. With hearts racing and secrets unraveling, love has never been more complicated. Keep watching with Everything in One, where the drama never stops. Here's the detailed, copyright-safe summary of Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 1, Episode 8, crafted for your Everything in One YouTube channel, with engaging narration and original dialogue highlights. Rent-A-Girlfriend, Season 1, Episode 8, Girlfriend and Girlfriend's Rival. Narrated by Everything in One. In this episode, Kazuya's life continues to spiral out of control, caught between Chizuru's genuine moments of kindness and Ruka's unexpected affection. With so many emotions swirling around him, Kazuya is unsure who he can trust or where his feelings really lie. The episode kicks off with Ruka intensifying her pursuit of Kazuya. She's determined to make him her boyfriend, and her persistence is relentless. She insists on spending more time together, dragging him to a fancy dinner, and even continuing the heart rate checkups. But beneath her enthusiasm, there's an underlying possessiveness that makes Kazuya uneasy. Meanwhile, Chizuru is still pretending to be Kazuya's girlfriend in front of his family and friends. But the cracks in their professional relationship are starting to show. Her interactions with Kazuya become more emotionally charged, and she's clearly growing frustrated with the situation. She's still pushing away her feelings, insisting it's just a job, but the walls are starting to crack. The real drama erupts when Mami returns to stir the pot. As she observes Kazuya juggling Chizuru and Ruka, she begins planting seeds of doubt in his mind. Her snide remarks about both girls and her casual insinuations about their true intentions throw Kazuya into an emotional whirlwind. But the biggest twist comes when Ruka finally confronts Chizuru, accusing her of keeping Kazuya to herself and asking pointedly, "Why do you really stay with him?" The confrontation is tense, and both women, who have very different approaches to Kazuya, have to face their feelings head-on. Original dialogue style highlights for narration. Ruka: "I won't back down. He's mine. You need to stay out of it, Chizuru." Kazuya, frustrated: "Why is everything so complicated? Why can't I just figure this out?" Chizuru, coldly but with a hint of emotion: "This isn't about me or you. It's about him. He doesn't need someone else to complicate things." It's so cute watching you both pretend, but deep down, I know the truth. The love triangle deepens, with rivalry and jealousy at every turn. Who will Kazuya choose when the lines blur between fake and real? Stay tuned with Everything in One for the next chapter of this chaotic love story. Here's the detailed, copyright-safe summary of Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 1, Episode 9, tailored for your Everything in One YouTube channel, with engaging narration and original dialogue snippets. Rent-A-Girlfriend, Season 1, Episode 9, Girlfriend and Girlfriend's Heart. Narrated by Everything in One. The chaos that's been brewing in Kazuya's life is about to hit its boiling point in Episode 9. With Ruka's relentless pursuit and Chizuru's growing frustrations, Kazuya is now caught between his genuine feelings and the complex web of relationships he's unintentionally tangled himself in. The episode kicks off with Kazuya and Ruka spending time together. Kazuya can't deny that Ruka is cute and energetic, but there's something about her intensity that doesn't sit well with him. Her constant attention leaves him feeling both suffocated and guilty, especially when he finds himself thinking about Chizuru. Meanwhile, Chizuru is starting to open up a little more to Kazuya. After several emotionally charged moments, she lets her guard down and shows a vulnerable side. It's clear that her feelings toward him are evolving, though she still insists that their relationship is purely transactional. However, the real tension in the episode arises when Chizuru and Ruka finally confront each other. The two girls have never been direct rivals, but the competition for Kazuya's heart is becoming undeniable. Their heated exchange reveals both their true feelings and insecurities. While Kazuya tries to process everything, Mami continues to lurk in the background, throwing subtle jabs and trying to stir things up. She begins manipulating Kazuya's emotions even more, pushing him toward decisions he's not ready to make. As the episode concludes, Kazuya is left questioning everything. His thoughts race between his memories with Mami, his growing connection with Chizuru, and the new feelings Ruka has ignited in him. Does he really have the right to choose between them? And what does his heart truly want? Original dialogue style highlights for narration. You're mine, Kazuya. I won't let anyone else get in the way. Shizu. I never asked for this. But why does it feel different when I'm with him? You think you're in control, but you're not. Not of your feelings, not of anything. Kazuya, confused to himself. I can't keep pretending, but how do I choose? With emotions running high and hearts on the line, Kazuya is forced to face the ultimate question. Who does he rend? Season 1, Episode 10, Girlfriend and Girlfriend's True Feelings. The emotional stakes are higher than ever as Kazuya's tangled relationships reach a boiling point in Episode 10. Chizuru, Ruka, and Mami are all playing their parts in a complex drama, and Kazuya is caught in the middle, unsure of where his heart truly lies. The episode kicks off with Kazuya continuing to struggle with his feelings. He's torn between the deep connection he shares with Chizuru and the intense attraction he feels toward Ruka. The rivalry between the two girls intensifies, and Kazuya's anxiety grows with every passing day. In a pivotal moment, Chizuru's vulnerability shines through. She opens up to Kazuya in a rare, private moment, revealing just how much her fake relationship with him has affected her. It's a subtle but powerful moment that shows there's more to Chizuru than just a professional rental girlfriend. Kazuya realizes that her emotions are as real as his own. Meanwhile, Ruka's feelings grow more intense as she continues to push Kazuya for a deeper connection. Her insistence on taking their relationship beyond the rental service makes Kazuya uncomfortable, but there's also a part of him that wants to give her a chance. As Ruka's affection becomes more apparent, Kazuya feels the pressure mounting. Mami's manipulations continue as she tries to sow seeds of doubt in Kazuya's mind about his relationship with both Chizuru and Ruka. Her words cut deep, and Kazuya begins to question whether any of his feelings are genuine or just a result of her playing with his emotions. By the end of the episode, Kazuya is more conflicted than ever. The lines between what's real and what's fake are blurring, and the more he tries to make sense of his feelings, the more complicated everything becomes. Is he truly falling for Chizuru, or is he just caught in the drama? And is Ruka the one who could really change his life? Original dialogue style highlights for narration, softly with a hint of sadness. I never wanted this to happen, but now I'm afraid of what might come next. Why does it feel so real with her? I can't keep pretending like it doesn't matter. I'm not just some rental. I want you to choose me. Kazuya? For real. You think you know what you want, but you're just a pawn in their game. They're not really who you think they are. Narration for everything in. With emotions running wild and love tangled in lies, Kazuya must decide who, if anyone, has truly captured his heart. Don't miss the next chapter of Rent-A-Girlfriend, only here on Everything in One. Narrated by Everything in One. The tension continues to rise as Kazuya's feelings become more complicated than ever. With Chizuru, Ruka, and Mami, all vying for his attention in different ways. Kazuya's heart is torn between the women in his life, leaving him in emotional turmoil. The episode opens with Kazuya and Chizuru having a more intimate conversation. After all the chaos and misunderstandings, Chizuru finally expresses her true feelings, revealing how much her fake relationship with him has meant to her. This revelation catches Kazuya off guard, as he starts to realize that his connection with Chizuru is more than just a role-playing game. It's something real. Ruka, on the other hand, continues to pursue Kazuya with unwavering determination. She doesn't just want to be another rental girlfriend. She wants him to choose her and only her. Her persistence leads to some intense moments between them, and she starts pushing for a deeper commitment, which only confuses Kazuya further. Meanwhile, Mami's manipulation continues, as she tries to drive a wedge between Kazuya and Chizuru. Her subtle jabs and clever comments make Kazuya question the sincerity of both Chizuru and Ruka. It becomes clear that Mami's actions are no longer about reclaiming Kazuya, but more about controlling the situation and testing the boundaries of his relationships with the other women. As the episode progresses, the emotional stakes grow higher. Chizuru and Kazuya share a heartfelt moment. And for the first time, Kazuya admits to himself that he might truly have feelings for her. But the moment is interrupted when Ruka steps in, forcing Kazuya to confront his feelings for her as well. The emotional conflict between his two girlfriends is more intense than ever. The episode ends with Kazuya standing at a crossroads, unsure of what to do next. His heart is divided, and he is torn between his growing love for Chizuru and the feelings he's starting to develop for Ruka. With so many emotional forces pulling him in different directions, Kazuya is faced with a decision that will change the course of his life. Original dialogue style highlights for narration. Chizuru: I didn't want to get attached, but it's happening anyway. Maybe I don't want to let go. Kazuya: internally conflicted. How can I feel this way about her? It's supposed to be fake, but it feels so real. Ruka: I won't just be a rental. I'll make you fall for me. I can show you what real love is. Mommy, you really think this will last? You'll be heartbroken soon enough. You always were. Narration for everything in one, with hearts on the line and emotions at war. Kazuya faces the hardest choice of all. Who will he truly choose? Find out in the next heart-pounding episode of Rent a Girlfriend, right here on Everything in One. In this explosive season finale, Kazuya's heart is finally forced to make a decision. After weeks of emotional turmoil and love triangle chaos, everything Kazuya has been avoiding comes to a head in this pivotal episode. Will he choose the fake but deeply meaningful connection with Chizuru, or will he take a leap into something more serious with Ruka? The episode kicks off with Kazuya facing the consequences of his indecision. The tension is palpable, and his emotional conflict is at an all-time high. After everything that's happened, Kazuya knows he can't keep stringing these two women along. He has to decide who he truly cares about. Chizuru, meanwhile, is still grappling with her own feelings for Kazuya. She's been hiding her emotions under the guise of professionalism, but the weight of their fake relationship is starting to take its toll. When Kazuya admits his true feelings for her, it's a bittersweet moment. There's love in the air, but also a deep fear of what comes next. On the other side, Ruka's determination hasn't faltered. She continues to push Kazuya to choose her, even if it means pulling him away from his relationship with Chizuru. Ruka's passion and sincerity are undeniable, and Kazuya feels torn between the two women, each offering him something different. Ruka's heart is all in, and she's prepared to do whatever it takes to win his love. As Mami continues to manipulate the situation, her bitter comments and subtle jabs only add to Kazuya's confusion. She pushes Kazuya to confront the reality of his feelings, asking whether he's really ready for the consequences of his actions. Kazuya realizes that Mami's presence, while painful, is a reminder of what he's left behind. The episode reaches a dramatic conclusion as Kazuya is forced to make a choice. But in a moment of clarity, he realizes that he doesn't have to choose between Chizuru and Ruka. He simply needs to embrace his own feelings. Kazuya steps forward, finally ready to face the future. Original dialogue style highlights for narration. Softly with vulnerability. I didn't expect this, but I'm starting to feel something real, Kazuya. Can we face it together? Kazuya, determined, breaking through his confusion. I'm not running anymore. I'm ready to choose, but I need to understand my own heart first. I'm not just asking for your love. I'm asking for a future, Kazuya. Don't throw it away. Taunting, but with a hint of sadness. You think you know what you want, but the truth is, you're still lost. You always will be. The heart-wrenching season finale. The choice that could change everything. Kazuya must face his emotions head-on, but is he ready for the consequences? Don't miss the epic conclusion of Rent a Girlfriend, only here on Everything in One.